What makes a game unique? Is it the design? The story? The mechanics? The music? Well, yeah, actually, it's all those things, but I only work on design, so today the others are irrelevant. Hi there, I'm Evan, and I create the assets here at CounterTempoStudios. If you've seen our past videos, you'll know that our game style is pretty low poly. Let's just say, the fact that we chose that style and the fact that it's also quite simple isn't a coincidence. Before working on this project, I had never designed assets. I did have some experience in CAD software like Fusion 360 and Inventor, but this was a whole new territory. I mostly create in Blender, while sometimes swapping into Fusion 360 for simple designs. Blender 2.8 was honestly less beginner-friendly than I thought. Yet I think I picked it up quite quickly. Now that doesn't mean my first few assets weren't a complete train wreck. Take a look at this tree real fast. Sure, yeah, it looks fine on the outside. The branches are a little crooked, but who isn't? But watch what happens when I go into wireframe mode and toggle X-ray on. If your mouth waters when thinking about mama's home-cooked spaghetti dinner, then it better look like an uncapped fire hydrant after a flood when you peer your eyes on this oodles of noodles. I guess I didn't know about this neat little tool named Extrude at the time, because I painstakingly placed and reshaped 31 separate cubes. That's right, separate. These cubes are connected in no way, shape, or form. The many extra faces that linger inside this mesh wouldn't normally be an issue. However, this is an asset that's meant to be placed in groups of hundreds, maybe even thousands at a time, so it most definitely does not help with game performance to have 80 extra unviewable faces rendered in a scene at any given moment. That being said, it took me a while to realize this. So I did some practice and followed some YouTube tutorials, and I slowly but surely fixed mistakes such as these. While trying to improve, I also started working on animations. Blender has a simple keyframing system that's easy to learn after a little experimentation. After working on a few projects, I saw rapid improvement. I went from this to this. I found that one of the most difficult parts of animation is creating realistic and fluid motion. There are many references online that I base my movement off of, and it sped up the experimentation phase of animation significantly. I still have much more to learn, but when it comes to animation, I'm quite happy with my progress. Back to assets. The biggest issue I encountered while creating assets for the prison was making it feel lived in. I needed to come up with objects that would convey a sign of life, yet also the feeling of vacancy at the same time. This huge gray box desperately needed some furnishing, so I needed to think fast. What do people use? What do they leave behind? What do we, as humans, search for far and wide, yet would leave adrift in the ever-turning cosmos in the blink of an eye? My solution? Beans. Lots of them. Scattered all throughout the prison. Or, I guess, in moderate amounts. It kinda depends on how Davin is feeling. Nevertheless, assets such as these were difficult for me to think of, yet pretty easy to create. There are many aspects to Blender, and at the beginning, they can be very intimidating, so I didn't end up learning about material nodes until recently. Blender material nodes allow you to do so many things when it comes to texturing. This bland wood-covered bookshelf can easily be turned into a less bland actual wood bookshelf with just a few nodes. Although these nodes cannot be imported into Unity, they take my renders to an entirely new level, and give me a better idea of how my assets will look in-engine. By now, I have created a wide plethora of assets that improve the ambience of our environment. Designing our own assets rather than using imports or commissions allows us to create exactly what we are looking for. I think that's sort of the beauty of the low poly art style. We can easily and reliably create the environment that we had envisioned without sacrificing time by diving down the very deep rabbit hole that is hyper-realistic graphics. Anyway, that pretty much wraps up my experience with creating assets and animations. We're very happy with the progress we've made and excited to show you some upcoming work. If you've enjoyed this video, be sure to check out the other videos in our devlog series. Have a great day, and thanks for watching.